He has had his problems. He did have a bruised right shoulder suffered in the Cardinal game, but he has been all right, and we'll see what works here as the 5-7 Vikings face the 6-6 Eagles. Evan Cooper, Andre Waters, and Herman Hunter are back, and Herman Hunter is the man in the middle for the Philadelphia Eagles. He had his best day as a kickoff return man last week. He is a rookie and a good one. The veteran Jan Stenerud, who celebrated his 43rd birthday this week, gets the game underway. It is a short kick end over end, and Hunter on the 11th. And Hunter brings it out beyond the 25-yard line to the 28, where he's stopped by Allen Rice. And the Philadelphia Eagles offensive backfield, Jaworski, Jackson, Haddix, Kenny Jackson, and Mike Quick. And the offensive line.
Leonard Mitchell, the former defensive end, having a fine year there in that group.
Philadelphia Eagles with an improved offensive line, and Jaworski, who has thrown 9 interceptions in his last 4 games. 1st and 10 on the 28. Ernest Jackson carries just to the 30-yard line. He has been the leading rusher for the Eagles, and we may see a lot of that kind of play today as you look at the defensive line.
Well, they start out, they announce a 4-3, but they started the game in a 3-4 with big Tim Newton at the nose tackle.
And they had 4 linebackers. Dennis Folks remains inside, along with David Howard and the secondary. Carl Lee playing again in place of Rufus Betts. 2nd down and 7. They mark the ball on the 31. 6 backs in there for the Vikings. And the call goes to Haddix, who's tripped up. And it'll be 3rd and about 5 for the Philadelphia Eagles, who have won 5 of their last 7 despite their loss to the Dallas Cowboys last week. Matt Blair, the 35-year-old veteran, on the stop.
Passing situation now here for Philadelphia. We talked to them yesterday, and they felt that Minnesota plays the zone extremely well, and they favor the outside. So they thought if anything would be open in this game for them passing-wise, it would be over the middle, both short and long.
3 wide receivers. It's 3rd and 4. Kenny Jackson, Mike Quick are joined by Greg Garrity. Jaworski with time completes the pass, and that's the leading receiver, John Spagnola, who comes into the game with 50 catches.
There's John Spagnola, number 88, the tight end. Watch his release now. He bumps the linebacker, drifts on out here, and Jaworski gets it to him. Has a tough time getting his release right there, as you'll see. Fights off, makes his break there, and Jaworski has it right on the money.
And a Philadelphia 1st down. Spagnola, who caught the winning touchdown pass to beat the Vikings right here a year ago. Ball at the 39. Mike Quick in motion. Ernest Jackson brings it out to the 42-yard line. Gain of about 3, and that nose tackle you were talking about, Tim Newton, was right there.
Well, I tell you what, he's had a great rookie year, and he's outstatted the refrigerator, William Perry, in every stat but one, and that's sacks. And they still kind of think that Perry will make the all-rookie team and not him, but this guy's had a fine year.
He has more tackles, more interceptions. He's forced more fumbles and recovered more fumbles than the refrigerator, but hasn't gotten the ink nearly. Huh?
No, sir. Who has?
2nd and 7 at the 42-yard line. Once again on the ground, Ernest Jackson with a head of steam and a 1st down for Philadelphia. And the Eagles are at midfield, and Joey Browner comes up from strong safety to make the tackle.
Great lead block by number 26, Michael Haddix. Watch him now. He'll come up and get number 39, Carl Lee, who shows up in the hole. Haddix coming through. Lee right there, makes the tackle. Ernest Jackson into the hole. Maybe not as quick as people like Wendell Tyler, Walter Payton, but extremely fast he gets in there.
He told us yesterday, I'm not a breakaway runner, but he looked awfully close to that on that play. So it's the 1st and 10 Eagles on the Minnesota 49. Here's a blitz, and Jackson picks up a couple of yards. Dennis Folks, who's playing in place of Scott Studwell, inside was blitzing on the play. Folks made the tackle. He saw a lot of action against New Orleans, where he made 10 tackles on the play.
You'll see number 50, Folks right up here faking the blitz, come in here. Now that makes it solid because everybody else takes a gap also in there. Makes it solid in the middle against the run. Not only works good against the pass, also against the run.
Second down and 8 at the 47. Jaworski stepping up. He completes it to Kenny Jackson. It's another Eagle first down, and Jackson gets inside the 35 before Isaac Holt, with help from John Turner, made the stop, a gain of 14 yards.
Jackson out now, top of your screen right out here, Dickie. He's the one that told us as he comes down here and works his way out that he thought if anything was going to be open yesterday, it would be over the middle. Jaworski's completed a couple passes here. You see Jackson slip and then work his way out on the pivot. It'd be over the middle. Both passes have been complete to the outside. So much for game plan.
Kenny Jackson's presence, of course, have enabled the Eagles not to have double coverage on Mike Quick all the time. It's been a big pressure situation for them. First and 10 at the 34-yard line. The Eagles are rolling. Play action pass. Jaworski completes to Quick. And another first down at the 15. Willie Teal on the tackle, and Mike Quick, who has caught a touchdown pass 5 games in a row, puts the Eagles in prime scoring position.
Now the key to this is the fact that Spagnola, number 88, comes across the middle and takes Browner, number 47, with him. See Browner going bottom of your screen? That opens up the area right there for Mike Quick, as he's working against Willie Teal.
You think he might have a field day today?
Well, we were talking about if the middle's going to be open, he catches the ball over the middle and does more with it after the catch than perhaps anybody in the league.
First and 10 on the 15, and Ernest Jackson knocks over several defenders as he gets to the 10-yard line, a gain of 5. Dennis Folks and David Howard, 2 linebackers, making the tackle on Jackson, who led the AFC with San Diego in rushing last year. And last week was only the second time this year he failed to lead the Eagles in that department.
But it's been an up-and-down season for him anyway. He hasn't quite got a handle on it himself.
Second and 5 on the 10-yard line. This is the 10th play of this series. Jackson again. And Jackson to the 7-yard line. Matt Blair making the stop for the Vikings. Jackson has gone over 100 yards on 2 occasions, both against the Cardinals. As he limps back to the huddle, Jackson gained 162 against St. Louis a couple of weeks ago, including a 51-yard run.
And, you know, he says that when I get the ball, I look to make 4 or 5 yards. I don't look to break it every time I get it. I look to get my 4 yards or my 5 yards. Anything after that is gravy.
Jackson goes out of the game. 2 tight ends. Dave Little joins John Spagnola. Haddix is the lone setback. It's 3rd and 2 on the 7th. Jaworski swings it out to Haddix, and Haddix is stopped shy of a first down by Carl Lee, who makes a fine tackle. It'll be 4th down and about 2 yards. The crowd would like the Eagles to go for it. And so far, no decision by Marion Campbell.
I think he's waiting until they place the ball so they can find out exactly how far it is to go. And then I think that we'll see McFadden out.
Well, they're going with a good bet right here, and Paul McFadden, who has been successful on 18 of 21 field goal attempts, including a season-high 52-yarder. This will be a 25-yard attempt, and Jaworski will do the holding. 8 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The Eagles have controlled the ball throughout. Now with a chance to take the lead. And the 30-second clock
delay of the game
has run down, and a delay of the game call. So they'll move it back, and that shouldn't hurt McFadden much.
No, it shouldn't. They waited just a little bit too long to see where the ball was going to be placed before he got the team out there on the field. It takes a little while longer to set up your field goal and your punting and your special teams than it does just to run your offense out there and get a play off.
So McFadden, who's been a tremendously successful kicker for the Eagles in his second year.
Kid hit one for 54 yards his very first attempt in college, so he's got the legs. Skinny little guy, and you wouldn't think so, but he's got a great stroke.
This will be a 29-yard attempt. High snap, but the kick is good, and the Eagles have taken the lead. And a fancy bit of ball control by Ron Jaworski, mixing the passes with the run. and it's 3-0 in favor of the Eagles.
Burger King now begins a nationwide search for Herb, the one man who's never tasted a Burger King burger.
Herb was never what you'd call
Normal.
Herb has never learned to love flame broiling instead of frying.
Herb was unusual. Herb was different.
Herb has never enjoyed this sizzling Whopper.
Pull yourself together.
Herb, wherever you are, start asking yourself, aren't you hungry for Burger King, Herb?
I own a PC and a VCR, a condo on the beach, and my own company. But I don't own a car. I lease with GMAC. For me, leasing was smarter than buying. There's no major down payment, and since I worked out the terms with my GM dealer, I can pay less each month. It was easy. Now I've got the new car I want, and leasing frees up my money for other things.
GMAC Leasing, only at your GM dealer. For you, it just might be smarter than buying.
Give me something warm for Christmas.
Only Zales could kindle such fire with 25% off all our diamond solitaire pendants and earrings just for Christmas, so she can have more diamonds. Quarter-carat earrings for $229, a half-carat pendant for $849, 25% off diamonds from Zales Jewelers, leading with style.
Zale, you're so hot.
Dick Stockton and Wayne Walker back at Veterans Stadium. And Wayne, of course, the Vikings already have won 2 more games than they did all of last year. But it is too early to count on any team for the playoffs. And the fact is the Eagles, looking at their schedule, could win 4 more.
Marion Campbell said that at this point in the season, they wanted to be in the playoff picture, and they are. He said every year one team comes out of the pack. He hopes that this year it's the Eagles. They have to win 4, and then they have to have San Francisco lose a couple.
And they've got to win this game. And, of course, they play 2 against the Vikings. The kickoff going to Buster Rhymes, who muffed it. Ted Brown picks it up and is ridden out of bounds at the 21-yard line by Dwayne Giles. This was the play that stopped the Eagles on 3rd down.
Carl Lee, the cornerback right here. Now you'll see the Vikings in a defense where he'll drift back, cover the outside receiver for a while, and then come up and make the hit on Haddix right here after the play starts. So you were talking about Minnesota playing a zone. Usually you play man-to-man down here near the goal line, but they're in a zone. He lets the receiver go, comes back up and makes the stop. That prevented the first down.
Big play by Carl Lee, but now we're looking at Wade Wilson making his first start this year. 5-year veteran from East Texas State. 1st and 10 at the 21. Ted Brown is the running back. Brown on the pitch. And Brown brings it out just shy of the 25-yard line. Gain of 4 on the play, and the tackle by Reggie White. Wade Wilson is the quarterback, and Darren Nelson is back today.
It's a big play individual. They missed him last week. He got hurt on the first play of the game.
The offensive line and the tight end, Steve Jordan, having a fine year.
Yeah, Mark McDonald getting his first start of the season at left guard because Brent Boyd ill with the flu.
2nd down and 6 for the Minnesota Vikings, who have had problems getting underway in recent games, and Darren Nelson now in the backfield along with Ted Brown. And the Vikings have also been turning the ball over too much, and it's come back to haunt them. Darren Nelson. Nelson for a couple of yards. It'll be 3rd and short. Nelson had the bruised sternum in the first play last week and did not return. Reggie White makes the tackle.
Marion Campbell says he's getting all pro play out of the nose tackle Ken Clark this season.
And White and Brown have also played well.
Good solid group there. Gary Cobb came over from the Detroit Lions this year.
Big man missing in the secondary.
You bet. You know who that is? Wes Hopkins. And Bree Wilson, a former starter, taking his place, but they'll go down a little bit. Wes Hopkins is one of the best in the game.
3rd and 4 at the 27. Sammy White, the veteran, is a 3rd wide receiver and 7 defensive backs for the Eagles. Wilson fires, threads the needle, but it's incomplete. Darren Nelson could not hold on to it, and he was sandwiched by a couple of Eagle defenders, and all 7 of those, according to Marion Campbell, are good enough to start.
Now you see what Wilson was looking at. Look at these defensive backs down here. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's what he's looking at. Try to find a spot to throw to, and he did. He got good protection.
You're right, a funny 4.
Yeah. I skipped that 4, didn't I? I skipped the 4th grade.
You made up for it. Greg Coleman, who leads the NFC, will be punting. And Eben Cooper is back, second year out of the University of Michigan. So the Eagle defense holds. Coleman gets off a good kick. Cooper is hit by Carl Lee, who is hitting everybody today in the first quarter, but the Eagles lead it 3-0.
For the average renter, the 5-door Mercury Lynx has plenty of room. And it's only $29.95 a day at budget. But budget has another car, one that's more my style, the Lincoln Town Car. Look at this headroom. And even us big shots like budget small price, only $39.95 a day. Get the economy of luxury, or the luxury of economy. Go to budget and say, the car, or the car.
Sinus congestion.
I can breathe again.
Ah, the sweet smell of success. Get it with 12-hour Nostrella and Nostril with the one-way spray pump. It delivers a measured dose of penetrating mist every time. Squeeze sprays don't. You can't buy more effective sinus medicine. Ah, the sweet smell of success. Only 12-hour Nostrella and Nostril regular or mild have the one-way pump. It's the most advanced relief you can give your nose.
Success. Christmas is just around the bend, bringing gifts from True Value hardware stores. The Toastmaster Snack Center cooks, heats, and serves snacks on the same platter. The Pollenex electronic air cleaner with ionizer will remove smoke, dust, and pollen from the air. And the compact food processor by Hamilton Beach will save precious time by slicing, shredding, and chopping in seconds. You'll find these great gifts at participating True Value hardware stores.
Grant was the #1 draft pick by the Philadelphia Eagles in 1950.
Played for him and then went to Canada.
And also played pro basketball with the Minneapolis Lakers.
Our visit with him last night, it looked like he was still in pretty good shape, too.
Looked like he could hit the 20-foot jumper and catch some of those passes. Vikings on defense.
You know, we asked him about the season. You know, have you been happy with this team at all? And he said, no, not really, because, you know, even though we've won a few more games, it's really not how you win or lose. It's did you win? And we haven't won as many as we should.
You mean winning is the only thing? Is that what he means?
In this business?
I guess so. First and 10 for the Eagles at the 25. Jaworski is 4 for 4 so far in this game. 6:27 remaining in the first quarter. Mike Quick in motion. Here's Ernest Jackson. Good block from Haddock. And Jackson gets good yardage beyond the 30-yard line. Hard running Ernest Jackson, who is only 5'9" but weighs 209 pounds, is tackled by Dennis Folks and Willie Teal.
You bet. Watch the block by Haddock right here on Chris Martin, the linebacker. He'll come across. Haddock's the back, right back here over in the corner. Comes up, makes the cut block on him. And that's the Springer. Mike Quick leading. Martin lets him go by, and then he lets Haddock get to his legs, and he's down.
31 yards and 7 carries already for Jackson. 2nd and 3 on the 32. Jackson again. First down. He almost ran over his blocker.
Steve Kinney out in front of him.
Dennis Folks on the tackle, and it looks like Ernest Jackson's day so far.
Offside guard Steve Kinney right here was the lead blocker on this. Watch him come through the hole and lead. You'll see why that play picked up a few. Kinney out in front, another lead block by Haddock. He's around the corner, gets a block on Fowles, or Falks rather. Plenty of room.
First and 10. Philadelphia has all of them so far in this game at the 38-yard line. Winding down to 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Guess who? Ernest Jackson. Head down. Gets to the 42-yard line. Gain of 4 yards on the play, and the tackle is by Tim Newton.
The New Orleans team ran extremely well against Minnesota last week, and a team like Philadelphia sees that in the game films, and they think they can get something going. And you know, they were talking all week long that we think we can run against this team. And Ernest, of course, that's going to make the offensive lineman happy. Ernest Jackson's going to make him happy because he says I need about 25 carries in a game, and that's my normal way to go.
Earl Campbell's 160 yards was the most yards rushing against the Vikings this year. 2nd down and 5 at the 43. Ernest Jackson off tackle, piled on at the 45-yard line, a gain of 2. It'll be 3rd and short Tim Newton has played very well so far at nose tackle, and Chris Dolman helped out.
Watch him, Newton, right in here. Watch him battle this man right here. That's Denard, the center, and this man right here, that's Ron Baker, the guard. Now watch the play develop. Watch him go into Denard right there, straighten him up, and take on that pull and create that log jam in the middle.
The rookie from Florida making his presence felt. It'll be 3rd down and 2 at the 46 for the Eagles, who have pretty much controlled the ball throughout this first quarter. Jaworski, quick pass to Quick, 1st down, and what a move on John Turner. To the 30-yard line, another 1st down. Did he fake John Turner out to the tune of 25 yards?
You know, you hate to say it, I told you so. What? Vikings blitz this time. You see a blitzer coming in from the right side, Joey Browner. Jaworski saw that, went to Quick right away, and we said earlier this guy can do as much with the football after a catch as anybody in the National Football League, and shows you why right here. Kenny Jackson downfield helping him out with a block.
Neil Elshire and Isaac Holt finally brought down Mike Quick, who has caught 2 passes, one for 19 yards and that one for 25. And the Eagles, with less than 3 minutes to go in the first quarter, have a 1st and 10 on the Vikings 30. Ernest Jackson tripped up after a pickup of 1 yard, and the man who did it was David Howard out of Cal State Long Beach. But a busy day so far for number 41.
Now you see Joey Browner over. He'll come in right from the outside, right over here on the blitz, and that's what Jaworski read. There's Browner, number 47, lined up in the line of scrimmage, came in the safety on the blitz. Jaworski saw it right away.
One of the few times the Eagles have been in a 2nd and long situation. They were 2nd and 8 at the 28-yard line. Swings it out. It was almost caught by Michael Haddix after Doug Martin got a hand on it. Jaworski was looking downfield, but the Vikings had the receivers covered pretty well.
Yeah, you know, you don't see that very often. You got Doug Martin over here as defensive lineman. It's going to end up come out and then being on the pass coverage. Watch him now. There's the back out. Watch him turn around and run, get a hand up. The ball actually hits it. It's still caught, but bobbled.
Good play by mistake, but at least he had the presence of mind to keep the hands up just in case.
Well, that was his coverage. That'll happen a lot of times. Defensive ends have to be quick enough to get out there in the flat.
That was Jaworski's 1st incompletion of the game. 3rd down and 8 with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Deep drop on the shotgun, and here is John Spagnola. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Joey Browner, 28 yards, and the Eagles lead at 9-0.
Watch the line stunt by the Vikings, and then they started to blitz Matt Blair, and he kind of stopped. No pressure on Jaworski. They picked it up well, and he threw a strike right here on a corner pattern, they call this, right on the money to John Spagnola against Browner, number 47. It was kind of a tentative blitz situation by Minnesota, not an all-out thing, and it cost them.
4th touchdown reception of the year for John Spagnola. Jaworski holding for McFadden. Finally, marker is down. The kick is good, and let's wait. Red Cashin, of course, is our referee. You've already met him. Philadelphia Eagles have controlled the ball. The Vikings have hardly had a chance here.
12 men on the defense. Lined up all sides. Number 57 on the defense. Point count. 5 yards on the
Chris
kickoff.
Martin on the penalty. You heard it. It's 10-0. Philadelphia will kick off with a 5-yard edge when we come back.
In my travels around the world, I found no 2 countries alike. No 2 governments alike. There's a lot of governments they disagree on. But 31 governments have found at least one thing they can agree on. The power of Sperry computer systems to make government manageable. Now, if 31 countries can agree on that, who knows what else?
Where I come from, there's a time of year folks have never outgrown. When hopes are bright and hearts are full of cheer, and thoughts turn to home when people gather with their families and raise their voices in song. It's a season of peace, a time of goodwill when spirits run strong. Christmas Day, the American way. Jingle bells and the one-horse sleigh. May the joy of the season come to you and yours this day. Christmas Day, the American way.
This Christmas carol was brought to you by the people at Miller High Life. Merry Christmas.
You've heard the song, now see the movie. Get up and dance with Barry Manilow in his electrifying motion picture debut at the Copacabana, Tuesday.
Show you where John Spagnola came from on that touchdown pass. He's a tight end here. He gets his release, and also show you why the Vikings were in man-to-man coverage. Right here is Matt Blair. He comes in on a blitz, but watch him hesitate in here and really not get anything done on the blitz. Here he makes his start. Now he checks and stops. Can't find a spot to go into. Jaworski saw the man-to-man. Here's the result.
At the kickoff by McFadden. Taken by Buster Rhymes, who carries it out to the 27-yard line. And that's where the Vikings, who have had the ball less than 2 minutes of this first quarter, take over. Well, next Saturday, CBS Sports presents a fine matchup. Kansas Jayhawks, Larry Brown's team, against Jim Valvano's NC State Wolfpack.
Valvano personnel in himself, and what? Chris Washburn.
Danny Manning of the Jayhawks, and they're playing for the Big Apple NIT Championship against Duke University tonight in New York. That's live, 12:30 Eastern, NCAA basketball on CBS. So Wade Wilson with his second series for the Vikings with 1:46 remaining in the first quarter, trailing now 10-0. Wilson's pass. Penalty marker down. The receiver was hit. Mike Jones before the ball got there. Herman Edwards may be guilty. Let's wait. Edwards had rough outing against the Dallas Cowboys last week.
Interference. Number 46 on the defense. First down.
Herman Edwards is number 46. Now he'll be covering out here. He'll show up. Now look for him. You don't see him in the picture right here. But he'll show up. He plays a little bit loose, as you see right there. He comes in, and there's the contact you see right before the ball gets there. Couldn't circle him for you because he was out of screen, but we knew he'd show up. But they're not playing with 10.
First and 10 on the 36. That's the first down for the Vikings. Darren Nelson gets a good hole and carries it out close to the 45-yard line. They'll spot it at the 47, and Darren Nelson, who's the leading rusher and second leading receiver on the play.
The guy you got to watch. He's the kind of halfback right here, Dick, as Brown goes in motion. A little counter step right here with Curtis Rouse, the offside tackle, pulling. So many people run that play now, made popular by the Washington Redskins. And Nelson is liable to go all the way at any time, in any ball game, in any situation.
Ray Ellis made the tackle. Look at that difference in time of possession. And in the total offense, it's been all Philadelphia, and the Eagles show it on the scoreboard. Second down and 3. Darren Nelson again, and he's thrown back close to a first down. Reggie White was the man right in the middle, and let's see where they spot the ball. Coming up later today, I guess you could call this a playoff game, Wayne. The 49ers and the Redskins.
It really is a playoff game. It has that appearance, and I know it will have that emotion when we get to see it this afternoon. They both need it, period.
And a lot of people think the loser of that game can bid their playoff hopes bye-bye. The Redskins, of course, playing at home at RFK Stadium, and what a job Jay Schrader has done for them in place of Joe Theismann. First and 10 at the 46 with less than a half a minute remaining in the first quarter. Vikings got the first down, trailing. Darren Nelson makes the reception at midfield. Anthony Griggs drives him to the turf. And the clock is running down the final seconds. We will not get another playoff before this quarter comes to an end. And that is the end of the first quarter here at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. It's been Philadelphia to a 10-0 tune.
This boy's got what it takes. Fulfilled all our holy stakes. Nothing halfway, nothing sweet. Just a great big crunch of good whole wheat. big boys.
No matter how long your shopping list, Timex is ready with over 200 fabulous styles, like our Marathon Runner's Quartz. Merry Christmas, one and all, from Timex.
The car won't start.
Before winter trouble strikes, give your gas an STP tune-up. Used regularly, STP gas treatment helps break up and remove water to prevent gas line freeze-up.
STP is the racer's edge.
It's a small company. In fact, you're looking at the entire staff. But to the client, they looked as professional as the biggest competitors. Maybe that's because Team Xerox studied their documents and came up with a solution, including a Xerox memory writer for perfect letters and a new desktop Marathon copier, which gave them big features at a small price. At 9 a.m., they presented their case. By 4 p.m., they got one with a note saying, "Please thank your staff for such great work," which, happily, they did.
We got it! We got it!
It's a matchup of super sophomores. Danny Manning will lead Kansas against Chris Washburn and NC State in NCAA basketball next Saturday on CBS Sports.
Dick Stockton and Wayne Walker here at Veterans Stadium, where the Eagles lead the Vikings as we start the second quarter. The Giants are tied with Cleveland, 7-7 in the first quarter.
Cincinnati 14-0 over Houston. Larry Kennebrew, the big back, with 2 touchdowns.
Tampa Bay and Green Bay, no scores there in the second quarter. New England and Indianapolis Colts are tied 7-7, and New Orleans, with Wade Wilson, the son of Bum, now coaching the Saints, lead the Rams 3-0 early in that game. Second down and 6 at midfield for the Vikings. Ted Brown goes in motion. Darren Nelson picks up a yard. That's all on the play, and Gary Cobb makes a good stop outside. Cobb is a veteran that came over from the Detroit Lions and kind of fit in right away with the Eagles.
Well, he's a natural leader. He was the defensive captain of the Lions and one of their hardest workers. Came here and only had 2 days of training camp, and Marion Campbell said he just fit like a glove on a hand in here. He's a good guy to have around in the locker room, keeps things loose, talks to the young guys, and he's been an added plus.
Third down and 4. Struthers is in the game for pass rushing purposes for the Eagles. Wade Wilson completes the pass for the first down to Mike Jones. Tackled by Elbert Fowles. It gets kind of rough there, and Mike Jones, who's a superb possession receiver, gives the Vikings a first down in Eagle territory.
So you got all those defensive backs in the game again. 4 down linemen and the rest are defensive backs. Impressive right here is the arm strength. Ball was not a perfect spiral, wobbled a little bit, but still got there in a hurry.
Let's talk about Wade Wilson a little bit. What are his assets, and what are the things he perhaps lacks here?
That kind of pattern right there, he says he throws well. He likes to throw the in moves and breaks to the back. He said the toughest thing for him to throw is the quick out.
First and 10 at the 42-yard line, opening minutes of the second quarter. Wilson with a play action. Fires, incomplete. The intended receiver was Mike Jones. And right now, for an NFL Today report, let's check in with Brent Musburger in New York. Brent?
Well, here's the situation down in the Superdome. 65 degrees, and Earl Campbell taking a swing pass, and he set up their second field goal. They lead the Rams 6-0. Let's go back to the game.
Well, a rejuvenated Earl Campbell, apparently, Wayne.
Yeah, you bet. He had a big game last week, as you mentioned before, against these Minnesota Vikings. And Bum Phillips told us a 3 weeks ago that Earl Campbell would prove that he was still a football player before this season was over.
We're going to have a timeout here called by the Vikings, and we'll take a break as well.
It is a game for pride and for honor. The 86th Annual Army-Navy Game next Saturday on CBS Sports.
You could have passed one of them today on a busy street corner like this in any city or town in the nation. There are children who, while playing or walking to school, suddenly vanish without a trace. They're missing children, and they could be anywhere. Hi, I'm Greg Coleman of the Minnesota Vikings, and I know these children aren't missing because these are my kids. This is Kara, Gregory, and my wife, Eleanor. And like any parent, we keep a watchful eye on our kids because we love them. That's why we're concerned with the problem of missing children. That's why we're United Way volunteers. The United Way and its agencies are concerned about missing children and endorse the work of all the voluntary agencies that are trying to find missing children. We can all ensure greater prevention of the problem by keeping a careful watch on our children and a watchful eye for children in our community. That's why we can say thanks, because thanks to you, it works for all of us, the United Way.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Miller Beer. Miller, made the American way since 1855. And by the Sperry Corporation.
Less than a minute and a half gone by in the second quarter. The Minnesota Vikings trailing 10-0, but they have a 2nd and 10 on the Eagles 42. The Vikings have lost 3 in a row, 6 of their last 8 games. And up against a tough defensive unit here. Wilson dumps it off to Darren Nelson, but coming up is the Eagle defense and knocks him out of bounds. A loss on the play of maybe a yard. Ken Clark, the man you were talking about at the top of the program, and Anthony Griggs from linebacker. And Clark is just about as ideal a nose tackle as you could find.
Yeah, Kenny Clark, that's just really good hustle coming all the way from the nose tackle spot. You'll see him right up here on the center, and you'll see Grigsby right here, the linebacker. Watch him come over here and both get in on the play on that screen. But that's just excellent hustle from the nose tackle. Watch him play the center, take care of things in the middle, and then hustle on out here. Broke through a couple of blockers, gets in on the tackle with the linebacker. Good play. Now you see why Marion Campbell liked him so much.
Ball is at the 43. Wilson completes to his tight end, Steve Jordan, and a first down. And there's an example of the shotgun arm of Wade Wilson. Andre Waters brings down Jordan not before he gains 22.
Watch the line stunt in the middle that the Eagles pull. See that little loop twist in there? Picked up well by the Vikings. Jordan, who came into the game with 55 catches, that was tops in the NFC for tight ends. Just another one that was right on the shelf for him. Great throw.
He had his problems last week. He dropped the ball a few times against the New Orleans Saints, but Jordan has had a terrific season. He's 4th in the conference, as you see, and he gives the Vikings an important 1st and 10 on the Eagle 21. Ken Clark had moved, looked like he had gotten back. The question is, was he drawn off? And apparently the penalty is against Philadelphia. So a 1st and 5 changes things dramatically, doesn't it, when you get within that so-called red territory?
Encroachment, number 71 on the defense, still first down.
No question he made some contact there, but you're right, Dick. It gives you an extra down or two and gives you a little leeway to do things. People at home might want to watch the way that the Eagles line up defensively with that 3-man line. They got their nose tackle crowded up, Ken Clark on the center, but the 2 defensive ends in their 3-4 kind of sit back off the line. It's almost like a Dallas flex.
1st down and 5. The ball now at the 16. Darren Nelson goes nowhere. And the tackle made by Anthony Griggs.
We'll show you that Philadelphia set. Now you'll see the nose tackle right here. Kenny Clark cheated up on the ball, but look at this defensive end right here, Reggie White. And then the other one over here, Greg Brown. See how far off the ball they are? That enables them, almost like the Dallas flex, to read the running play before they react to it. If they're up at the line of scrimmage, Marion Campbell believes they'll get tied up by the tackles before they get a chance to read.
2nd down and 4. This is the 10th play of the drive. The Vikings trail 10-0. Looking to get back in this game. Wilson rolling out. Hits Ted Brown for a first down and out of bounds to the 8-yard line. Ray Ellis, who's quite a hitter, knocked Ted Brown out of bounds.
Minnesota's been running this play as long as Bud Grant and Jerry Burns have been there, and that's been almost forever. Grant Tarkenton used to run this with Chuck Foreman out in the flat. Same play, roll out right. If you can't stop this play, you can't stop the Minnesota Vikings. That's one of their bread and butter plays.
And 1st and goal at the 9-yard line, and Ted Brown, who has scored 2 touchdowns as a receiver, 5 as a running back. A good, versatile all-around back. First and goal at the 9 with 11 and a half minutes remaining in the first half. Darren Nelson has a hold. And Nelson gets to the 2-yard line. A gain of 7 yards, and it was wide open running for Darren Nelson. And a good block by the right tackle, Tim Irwin.
Take a peek at it now. Man in motion, takes one safety with him, and it's kind of a cutback move here. Now, Darren Nelson, only about 200 pounds, but got good leverage. He's built really close to the ground, and you see him be able to shed a tackle and pick up some extra yardage. He doesn't like to run over people, though. He says, I'd rather run around him.
He's having his best year as a runner as Darren Nelson. His best game was 122 yards against the Lions. Second and goal on the 1.5. Alfred Anderson stopped. He ran into a brick wall. The Eagle defense, Alfred Anderson.
I think Ray Ellis, I'm not sure, might have been Ray Ellis, number 24, the strong safety, who got good penetration back there and got into Anderson before he got started. Let's see who it was. Somebody got good penetration. Let's see who shows up. Ellis is on outside right here. It was just a good surge by Reichenbach, the inside linebacker, number 55. Great play.
Now it's third and goal at the 1. Anderson and Brown are the running backs. It's Brown. He goes nowhere. Byron Darby, who's been back 3 weeks from injured reserve, came up and stopped.
Remember, Dick, we talked to Bud Grant about this yesterday. I asked him, is the fact that you really don't have a big back hurt you this year in goal line situations? And he says, well, Anderson weighs 230, but they didn't give it to Anderson this time. He's the lead blocker. This time it's Ted Brown, and Brian Darby, number 94, made a good play.
The Vikings had first and goal at the 9, and they could not get the touchdown, and so Jan Stenerud, 43 years old, who's 11 for 17 in field goals this year, and of course a brilliant all-around career. Greg Coleman, the team's punter, will do the holding. A 19-yard attempt with 9:35 to go in the first half to try to put the Vikings on the scoreboard. And he does it. The kick is no good. That was the most emotion we've seen from Marion Campbell in quite some time.
Watch it here now. Coleman and Holder gets it down in good shape. The laces are away. Jan had a nice, easy stroke at it. Marion called it. And he was right.
11 for 18, and the Eagles defense holds. They still lead it 10-0.
The one big question when it comes to trucks is who? Who gives you a powerful 2.4-liter engine? Toyota. Who gives you more payload than any truck in its class? Toyota. Who gives you 3 across seating? And who does it all still for only $59.98? The 1986 Toyota Standard Bed is who? The #1 selling small truck in America. Who else? Nobody.
Who could ask for anything more? Toyota.
You begin with raw steel. Shape it with fire, muscle, and sweat. Polish it to razor-sharp perfection. We're looking for a few good men with a medal to be Marines.
We are today's typical traveling business couple.
Our jobs take us separate ways.
So essential to our relationship is the precise use of time.
Trust.
And of course, United Airlines.
United serves the top business centers.
In all 50 states.
They take us wherever, whenever.
I'm doing 9 cities in 7 days.
I'm 8 cities in 6 days.
Only United could handle a couple like us.
See you in a week. Good luck, Martin.
Same, dear.
You're not just flying.
Martin?
You're flying the friendly sky.
Wednesday.
I need a change.
A bored housewife. A deadly affair.
The man who took you up to that apartment was a professional killer.
The Equalizer.
Well, the Vikings had it for 7.5 minutes, and the Eagles' defense equal to the task plus, and Stenerud missing the 19-yarder. First and 10 for the Eagles now at the 20-yard line. Ernest Jackson and Michael Haddix are the running backs, and Haddix gets the call. Brings it out to the 24-yard line, a gain of 4. Tackled by Chris Dolman, the rookie from Pittsburgh. The Browns lead the Giants 14-7 in the second quarter at Giants Stadium. They're tied to Giants with Dallas. Actually, Dallas has a 1/2 game lead in that division. Pittsburgh over Denver 3-0 in the second quarter. And look at Cincinnati, Wayne.
Added another score now, 21-0 in the second quarter over Houston.
Boomer Esiason threw a touchdown pass there, and Green Bay has taken the lead over the Buccaneers of Tampa Bay. The Battle of the Bays, 7-0. Green over Tampa. Second and 6 at the 24. Michael Haddix. First down. Fumble, and it's picked up by Carl Lee, and Lee is going to run it back, and they're going to blow it dead. They're going to blow it dead.
I think they're going to say that Haddix is down.
And the crowd's going to love that if that's the case, and they don't rule fumble. Haddix will have the first down if they do not rule a fumble on the play, and apparently that's going to be the call.
Haddix, number 26 now, straight ahead blocking. Here's the cut up. The ball came out as he hit the ground. It appeared from that angle. See if he has control. It looked like he was starting to lose it before he hit down. His knee may have been down before the ball started, but may not have been also. I think really that may have been a break for Philadelphia.
First down for the Eagles with 8:25 remaining in the first half at the 31-yard line. Low pitch to Jackson. He can't turn the corner. Dennis Foltz, third-year free agent from West Virginia, and Carl Lee combined to make the tackle, and actually a loss of a yard on that play. Good pursuit by the Vikings.
Look what the Vikings are using now, almost like a 4-6 defense like the Bears. Look at the 3-down linemen crowded in the middle. 2 linebackers over here, Matt Blair and Howard, and then the safety Brown are over here. So it's just it's almost like the Bears defense, the 46, although they don't stunt and loop on it as much as the Bears do. They line up in it and then play it kind of soft. But that's that 46 look.
Second and 12 at the 29, and the threat of rain is no longer a threat. It has started to rain here at Veterans Stadium. No flag. The pitch out to Jackson, and Haddix, that is, and Tim Newton almost picked that ball off. Right now for an NFL Today report, here again is Brent Musburger.
Well, Dick and Wayne, the worst blizzard in Green Bay in 25 years. Quarterback Lynn Dickey will get in from 1 yard out for the touchdown. And yes, the faithful have showed up. There are some empty seats, but not too many at Lambeau Field. Let's go back to Philadelphia and Dick Stockton.
Thank you, Brent. Talk about the snow. North Dakota, 18 inches. South Dakota reports 5 inches. I know that in Minneapolis, 12 inches and still snowing throughout Minnesota.
Vikings had a difficult time getting out of that airport yesterday.
3 wide receivers now in for the Eagles. Herman Hunter, who's a good receiver in the backfield. Third down and 12 at the 29. Jaworski completes to Greg Garrity, but Garrity is a long way from first down yardage. Joey Browner is there to make the tackle, and it'll be 4th down. And so the Vikings, with their best defensive sequence of the game, will have a chance as Mike Horan will come in to punt for Philadelphia. There's Horan. And in deep safety position for the Vikings is Anthony Carter at the 20. Not a long kick, but a high kick, and a fair catch called for by Carter at the 31-yard line. And 7:24 remain in the first half. We'll take a timeout.
best a wine can be. It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
I'm giving everyone a mini phone from Radio Shack. That way they'll call often. It's trim, compact, and has an automatic redial. And the 16-foot cord means they can use it anywhere around the house. The best of all, it's on sale for only $12.95. I even bought myself one. Hello? Hello? Hello?
The mini phone on sale for $12.95, only at Radio Shack.
When the Cowboys make their first ever visit to Cincinnati, they shouldn't expect warm greetings from the Bengals. Get the story on the NFL Today.
Next Sunday on CBS, it all begins with the NFL Today beginning at 12:30 Eastern Time, and these are the games on tap. Washington and Philadelphia. If the Eagles win today, they must beat the Redskins, and that would make 2 in a row over Washington, and Philadelphia's perhaps toughest game the rest of the season. New Orleans against St. Louis, Tampa Bay against the Vikings, who will be home at the Metrodome. Meanwhile, the Vikings want to do some business here, trailing 10-0. Have a 1st and 10 on their own 32, their best starting field position of the game. Wade Wilson got it up in the air. Incomplete. Reichenbach was the closest to it for a possible interception, but he was going the other way.
Watch Reichenbach, number 55. He's just the elected official. He'll make a drop. Let's see who gets a hand on it. Kenny Clark's in the line of fire. Now watch Reichenbach. He's looking around. He doesn't know it's in the air. Had he seen the tip and seen it up, he may have had a chance to get to it.
But Kenny Clark.
Yeah.
Kenny got his hand in there.
We did that first, didn't we?
That's called harmony. 7 minutes, 19 seconds to go in the first half. Vikings 2nd and 10 now. Wilson up the middle, nearly intercepted. Incomplete. Steve Jordan was the intended receiver.
I'm not really sure. Dick really was or not. Mike Jones was open over the middle on his slant in, and he may have been going to him. That's why the ball was so high to Jordan. Let's take a look. You see Mike Jones coming from the right of your screen across the middle, and Jordan will be coming from the left. Can't tell who he's throwing to. It could have been Mike Jones. It was a little bit deeper. That's why the ball was thrown high to Jordan.
And hard. You may be right about that.
Yeah.
Wade Wilson is now 5 for 9 for 37 yards. It is 3rd down and 10. At the 32-yard line. Wilson in trouble. Sack at the 25-yard line. The first sack of the ball game. Reggie White and Greg Brown, each with 9.5 coming into the game, each now with 10 sacks on the year.
Watch the stunt, though. Brian Darby over the middle here will end up coming all the way around here and getting the pressure on the quarterback. Watch as we started here now. Watch him see the stunt. Now he's going to clear to the outside. He'll make Wilson step up in the pocket, and that created the sack.
So Greg Coleman, who had a season high of over 51.5 yards last week against the Saints, will be kicking. Evan Cooper is deep for the Eagles. That one sails and rolls out of bounds at the 30-yard line. A 45-yard kick, better yet, no return for the Vikings.
On June 8, 1984, a tornado struck Barneveld, Wisconsin. About the only thing left standing was the water tower.
After the tornado, people said this is the end of a small town. Barneveld said, not this small town.
Around here, folks will always hit right in when something gets out of hand.
Just thought we can make it. We can rebuild. We can come back, and we have.
A place where people have a sense of pride. That's what keeps them right here. Where you count on your own, you call it your home, and Miller's the beer. Miller's made the American way, born and brewed in the USA. Just as proud as the people who are drinking it today.
Miller contains no additives or preservatives. Purity you can see, quality you can taste.
Some towns are held together with nails and wood, but this town's held together with a lot of pride and a lot of family.
Miller's made the American way.
When you're looking for more in a car, reach for the star. Introducing the all-new 1986 Toyota Celica GTS, totally redesigned to give you more. A front-wheel drive car that truly handles like a sports car. Let the electronically fuel-injected 16-valve twin cam dazzle you. Let its 135 horsepower move you. The Toyota Celica, A Star is Born, more like a legend.
For anything more,
This is a big surprise. In the second quarter at the Superdome, the Saints lead the Rams 9-0. And, of course, as you know, the Rams are trying to fend off the 49ers going into this weekend only 2 games out of first place.
Well, Dick, you know, I live out in the Bay Area, and the Niners played Washington, and 49ers have felt all year long that the Rams may come back to them. That's why this game is so important for them this afternoon. They still have a chance, they think, to win that division.
And the 49ers still have a game against the Rams. So if they can cut it to 1, they'd be sitting pretty. That's what the Eagles are doing right now. They're leading 10-0, first and 10 on the 30-yard line with 6:40 remaining in the first half. Jaworski under some pressure. Downfield, Kenny Jackson. And he's got it. And a first down at the 42-yard line. Keith Nord makes the play, but not before Jackson is on the receiving end of a 28-yard play.
A lot of patience by Jaworski this time, and great protection. Watch him now back in the pocket, step up a little bit, avoid the rush, get it to Jackson, all-arm action. Willie Teal, number 37, is short. He's the cornerback. And then Nord, number 49, the free safety, had to come over. Great throw, good spot by Jaworski.
The Eagles have a pair of outstanding wide receivers, of course, in Mike Quick and Kenny Jackson. Plus a good receiving tight end in John Spagnola. First and 10 at the 42-yard line in Viking territory. Jaworski drills this one to Mike Quick. And Quick has a first down to the 20. Carl Lee.
Once again, it looked like the cornerback, Carl Lee, had it short on the zone with help from the safety coming over, and Jaworski, with that strong arm of his, put it right in between the two.
You know, Wayne, Mike Quick comes into the game 102 yards short of his third consecutive 1,000-yard receiving year. He has caught 3 for 66, and he may even go over it today. First and 10 at the 20-yard line. Eagles threatening to raise the lead again. Jackson up the middle. And Ernest Jackson gets to the 15, where Tim Newton making the tackle. And the Eagles are threatening to open up this game to a 17-0 lead right now.
Watch the left guard here now, just to the left of Jaworski, number 73, Steve Kenny. Get a little bump on the nose tackle, then continue on downfield, and Ernest Jackson actually runs into the back of him downfield. Good job by Kenny.
That's what Jackson has done today. Gain of 6, second down and 4. Ball at the 14-yard line. Jackson runs into his own man, and the play breaks down, and a loss on the play of perhaps a yard.
I think that was Steve Kenny again, who tripped up on a pull back there and created the havoc in the backfield.
David Howard gets credited with the tackle.
But if we can see what happened here, ground level. Kenny again, the guard on the side. Yes, he is on a pull, and he trips over the feet of the ball carrier right there, goes down in front of him. Well, Kenny's been in on 2 tackles the last 2 plays, and he's an offensive guard, but he's hustling out there in front.
That'll help his stats, that's for sure. Third and 4 for Philadelphia. The Eagles 6 and 6. Now are going to call, let's see, there is a timeout being called by Philadelphia. Timeout. And while we have a timeout, let's remind you that next Saturday, one of the great traditions in college football, the Army-Navy game.
Taking place right across the way from where we are now.
Actually, that takes
right.
place.
It's here now.
Not only
right.
does it take
Where
place
are we?
across, it takes place right down there. Army's headed for the Peach Bowl. They've had one of their strongest years, and you'll get to see Navy's fine running back Napoleon McCallum. Next Saturday, 2:30 Eastern. You used to listen to Army games in Idaho when you were growing up, didn't you?
The one radio station in Boise every Saturday afternoon. Felix Blanchard, Glenn Davis, those teams, they were big then. I was little.
Army-Navy next week. Ron Jaworski took over in the 5th game of the season, started shaky. Randall Cunningham, the rookie from UNLV, came in, had his problems, and as you mentioned, the Eagles were rejuvenated with Jaws.
Well, you know what? They said that Jaws won a lot of respect by not complaining when he was benched and by helping Cunningham, and he said that the benching was the low point of my career. He said, I felt like I was being made a scapegoat for what had happened, losses in the first 3 games, but he came back and proved that he's got a lot of mileage left in that body and that arm.
Third down and 4 at the 14. The clocks are out here at Veterans Stadium. 4:49 unofficially left. The Eagles have used up a timeout. Inside handoff to Herman Hunter. And Hunter is hit, and hit hard. And a fine play by David Howard, who played in the USFL, came out of nowhere apparently to make a crunching hit on the rookie Herman Hunter.
Yeah, Howard is the right linebacker over here on the right side. Let's take a peek now. Steve Kenny, the guy we've been talking about, the guard will pull, try to get the block on him, but to no avail. Howard's going to come on in. There he comes up. Eludes that block and makes a great hit. Good play by David Howard, a rookie from Cal State Long Beach who had USFL experience.
Paul McFadden, who has already kicked a 29-yard field goal, will try this from 33 yards with Jaworski holding. The kick is good, and the Eagles come away with this with 3 more points to add to their lead. It's a 13-0 game. 13-0, the Philadelphia Eagles lead the Minnesota Vikings with approximately 3 minutes and a half. The clocks, as we said, were out here at Veterans Stadium, and we'll try to get an exact figure for you. In the meantime, we'll bring you up to date on other games around the NFL. Denver over Pittsburgh. Behind Elway.
Cincinnati really pointed on Houston now, 28-0. Still in the second quarter.
The Patriots, who know they can move into a first-place tie and perhaps a 3-way tie with Miami and the Jets. Tony Eason in place of Steve Grogan. 2 touchdown passes, and the Browns lead the Giants by 8.
Behind Gary Danielson in that strong running game of theirs. Danielson taking over for Kozar again last week.
McFadden will kick off. We have 4 minutes and 8 seconds, 4:08 remaining. Buster Rhymes is the man in the middle. And the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be a 5-yard penalty, and McFadden will kick it off again from the 30-yard line. Paul McFadden, of course, one of the barefooted kickers in the National Football League. Out of Youngstown State, school that produced Ron Jaworski and also John Good, the third-string tight end.
3 of them on this one team. He said Jaws really helped him a lot when he first got here. He said, he was nervous quite naturally. Jaworski quite naturally would be any football player's hero that came from Youngstown State. Jaworski is his holder, helped settle him down a lot in training camp, and then when he won the job, and has been a big factor in his success.
So McFadden will be kicking again. Tony Franklin had been a fixture for several years when the Eagles, of course, had their best years and went to the Super Bowl a few years ago under Dick Vermeil. Buster Rhymes, the rookie from Oklahoma, is back, but he's flanked by Alan Rice and Ted Brown. 13-0 in favor of the Eagles. Rhymes at the 14. Out of bounds. Just shy of the 30-yard line. Coming up at halftime, Joe Montana's toughest year. And I know, Wayne, you've had a lot of talks with him.
Well, no question about it. It has been a tough year. And not only did they blame some of the 49ers' early failures on him, but he's had some personal problems, or so-called personal problems, that have been cleared up in the past week or so.
Dick Vermeil and Jim Brown are in the studio at the NFL Today. And, of course, the 49ers and the Redskins. Coming up next on CBS. 1st and 10 for the Vikings with 3:56 remaining. In the first half, the Vikings have 2 timeouts left. Wade Wilson to go to the air on first down. Incomplete. Darren Nelson was the intended receiver. Vikings had a golden opportunity here in the second quarter when they had first and goal on the 9 and then got the ball to the 1-yard line, but they couldn't knock it over on 2 downs, and then Jan Stenerud missed a 19-yard field goal. So Bud Grant's Vikings remain scoreless right now. Vikings have had good success. They've won 4 out of 5 games against the Eagles in Philadelphia.
They have. This is kind of a strange situation, too, where these two teams play again here in a couple of weeks.
That game will be at the Metrodome, and that'll be the final game of the year. Pitch to Ted Brown. Reggie Wilkes making the play at the 31-yard line.
And he made a good play because he had to fight off a block of a big lineman that time, Tim Irwin, coming out to try to get the hook on him.
Steady season for Reggie Wilkes.
It is. He's been splitting some time over there, but he's very solid against the run. Take him out on passing situations now, as you see.
3rd down and 8 for the Vikings. Got to take a lot of wind out of your sails when you get as close as they did and come up with nothing when it appeared as if they were going to get a touchdown. Sammy White is in as the 3rd wide receiver. 7 defensive backs for the Eagles countering that. Wilson fires. Incomplete. Anthony Carter on the low pass. Herman Edwards was the defensive back, and it's 4th down. The Vikings just can't generate any kind of offense, although, as we said, they came close one time.
Missing just a little bit. Darren Nelson drops the ball, and then that one was off just a little bit. Could have been caught. Would have been a great catch by AC, but really the first really poor ball, I guess, that Wade Wilson has thrown here this afternoon. He's been fairly sharp.
Greg Coleman will be punting for the 3rd time, and Evan Cooper is back for the Eagles, who with 3 minutes to go have an opportunity to add to their 13-0 edge. Halftime here, they're going to be celebrating the return of many of the stars of the 1960 Philadelphia Eagles NFL title team. Coleman kicking back, and Evan Cooper with a late fair catch inside the 25-yard line. A 46-yard punt for a man who really, we talked about Wes Hopkins going to the Pro Bowl. What about this man?
Oh, he really should go. He's having a Pro Bowl year, no doubt about it. That was a 46-yard punt. He came into this game averaging 44 yards. That was the best in the NFC. And the net return is just 38. He's a veteran, of course, been around a while, 9 years, and is so adept now at handling the ball. They can do magic with it, put it out in the corners and kind of pooch it and stop it. Great athlete, too, in his own right.
Now, Bud Grant said a few years ago, I could bring in new kickers, but you're better off sticking with one. You got too many adjustments changing all the time. Paid off that move. The ball's at the 24-yard line of Philadelphia. 1st and 10. Jaworski up the middle. Good catch by Kenny Jackson. It was a hard pass, and Jackson held on to it. Chris Dolman making the play.
That was that middle area that Jackson was talking about, under the linebackers.
And a hand for Kenny Jackson on the play.
Yes, you'll watch the linebacker now over on the right side. Dolman, he'll make a deep drop, and Jackson will be under him. Number 56 right there. Here comes Dolman, 56. So he goes down and looks for that open area, whether it's behind the linebackers or in front of him, makes the adjustment, and then Jaworski finds him.
Kenny Jackson, who has caught a pass for 28 yards, another for 14. It's 2nd down and 2 after that 8-yard play at the 32-yard line. Ernest Jackson gets tripped up, but comes up with a second effort play and a 1st down. At the 37, Mark Mullaney making the tackle. And it was Tim Newton who first penetrated.
Watch Doug Martin penetrate, though, too. Also from the right side of Jaworski, number 79. He comes through a gap right there, gets an arm out. That was a pretty good run that time. So break that tackle and pick up the yardage.
Ernest Jackson has gained 56 yards. We said, would you like to gain 100 against a team other than St. Louis? He said, why not? He said both of his efforts, over 100, have been against the Cardinals. 1st and 10 at the 37. It'll be the last play before the 2-minute warning. Michael Haddock slicing off the left tackle and brings it up to the 40-yard line. A gain of about 4. Chris Martin and Tim Newton make the stop, and our 2-minute warning is upon us here in Philadelphia.
McDonald's new McDLT could be the best tasting lettuce and tomato hamburger ever.
Cool, crisp, in perfect harmony. So you taste the hot, you taste the cool, the way it's supposed to be. It's a good time for
was just your first bite.
When a businessman is waking up in, say, Los Angeles, his main office in New York is already well into its day. And very often there's information the main office would like men such as this to have the moment they come in. Well, now, through a modern computer innovation called telemail, they can send them that information and have them punch it right up the minute they arrive.
Che.
No, GTE.
What a great evening.
I hope it's not over yet.
Look, I had to tell you, right now, I shouldn't be doing this. I'm a married woman.
That's okay. I'm a married man.
Happily married?
Very happily.
Oh, me too.
Well, happy anniversary.
Stephen, it's beautiful.
An anniversary ring of fine quality diamonds. The gift that says you'd marry her all over again.
Well, you never would realize Wes Hopkins is missing from the Philadelphia Eagles defense the way they've played, and they moved the ball nicely, too, to the 2-13-0.
No question about it. This is just the kind of game they wanted, too, to run the ball a little bit, not put a lot of pressure on Jaworski and the pass receiving unit, and hope that they could run against Minnesota, control the ball, use up time, and they have.
Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. Jaworski has completed 10 of 12 passes. Second down and 6 on his own 41-yard line. Herman Hunter is in the backfield and will have a penalty. Jaworski wanted to get off a free play, but he couldn't do it. Doug Martin and Keith Millard might have jumped in the middle.
Encroachment, number 75 on the defense. Still second down.
Millard it was. I'll tell you, he's a hustler. He's a battler. What Steve Kenny told us yesterday, you can't rest against this guy. He won't take a down off. He'll be coming at you every time he's in there. Playing his first year for the Vikings. Rookie out of Washington, but he was a great player in the USFL.
First-round draft pick who went to the USFL.
Signed with him in August.
Second down and 1 now as a result of the penalty. And apparently a first down for Haddock. Make it Herman Hunter with 1:45 to go. Clock running. Eagles still have 2 timeouts remaining, leading 13-0. Want to at least get in position for Paul McFadden again, who's kicked 2 field goals. Jaworski caught by Spagnola. Fine catch by Spagnola, and the Eagle receivers are holding on to him today. That'll be a first down at the 36-yard line. John Turner making the play.
You were right and call it a fine catch. The only thing better than the catch was the fact that he could hold it. The catch alone, if he hadn't have been hit, would have been a good one. But to hang on to it and take that kind of lick from Turner as he came down made it even better. Leading the Eagles in receiving coming into today's game with 50.
He had a career high of 12 receptions this year against the New Orleans Saints.
He wears that thing around his neck. He missed the entire 83 season with a neck. Didn't know, a cervical problem. Didn't know whether he'd ever play again or not. Had to come out and find out for himself. He said that first hit in training camp in 84, he was going to find out one way or another. He took a good hit, hit a dummy, came into it full force and said, I'm going to be okay. I'll be able to continue. Didn't know until that time.
The Eagles called the timeout. They have 1 left with 1:16 on the clock. The ball is just beyond the 35-yard line. Another field goal here would force the Vikings to be 3 scores behind going into intermission. The Eagles have averaged more than 7.5 yards on first down.
I'm surprised they don't try to just get 6 points all at once and two of them in your zone. You don't know which one to favor. Always been tough against teams who play zone defense or the crossing pass.
Notice how the Eagles' big problem in recent years have been protecting Jaworski. They allowed only one sack against Dallas, who had 47 coming in the last week's game. They have improved a lot, that offensive line.
When they're all together and healthy, they're a pretty solid unit.
No sacks against Jaws today so far. Second down and 10 on the 35. It's pressure. Jaworski gets hit and has to let go of the ball, and it was anyone's ball. And there was some decent pressure on Jaworski, put up by Doug Martin and Neil Elshire.
Martin moves in to tackle on the right side. Elshire will be outside of him. Right side here. Let's see what they do. Just straight ahead. A good spin move by Martin. Did you see that? He started outside, spun inside, and was right in Jaworski's face. Good quick move by number 79.
Doug Martin is second on the team with 4 sacks. Remember, he led the NFL in sacks 3 years ago. Only had 1 last year.
He's their best defensive lineman. I talked to Paul Wiggins last week before the game, and he said he's the quality person on that line. Both ways, against the run and the pass.
Third down and 10 at the 35. 1:09 on the clock. Jaworski. The quick. Out of bounds and a first down. A big 26-yard play. Isaac holding John Turner made the play on Mike Quick.
Yes, now watch John Turner come over. I almost think, Dick, if he'd have been playing the ball, not the man, he might have had a better shot at this. Not looking up at all. That's a great throw, too, by Jaworski.
Quick has caught 4 for 92 yards. He may go over 1,000 today. Looks like he wants to. Maddox and Hunter are the running backs. First and goal on the 8 for the Eagles. Trying to break this game wide open here in the first half. Jaworski up the middle. Quick. Is it? That's his 9th touchdown this year. He has now caught a touchdown pass in 6 consecutive games. Mike Quick.
They clear things out for him on the right side, and he comes in over the middle from the left. Watch him coming into the left ear screen right there. Jaworski had an easy throw to make. That's the easiest throw a quarterback can make is over the middle short. No hands in his face that time. Had a great vision lane, and there was the 6 points.
McFadden with the conversion. It's good. And with 57 seconds remaining in the first half, the Philadelphia Eagles own this ball game, leading the Minnesota Vikings 20-0.
Watch the receivers over here on this side of the screen. Spagnola clearing. Haddock clearing. Quick underneath the 2 of them for the 6 points.
Quick has caught passes for 999 yards this year. He has 1,000 yards 2 consecutive seasons. The last man to do that was Tommy McDonald, who's one of the people being honored at halftime as a member and one of the great members of that 1960 championship team.
It's going to mean a lot to this guy right here, and I think it does. You can tell this Philadelphia team is pumped up a little bit. I think because of today that 1960 team is here. Remember when we did the opening game of the season in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, when they were honoring the 25-year anniversary of the Vikings, how pumped up this Viking team was against the 49ers. Well, they've kind of got it turned around against them today because the Eagles are in that same situation.
That 1960 team was the only team ever to beat Vince Lombardi in a championship game. Buster Rhymes returning McFadden's kickoff. And a good return by Buster Rhymes, carrying it out to the 34 where Evan Cooper makes the tackle, and a look at the scoring drive. And as you mentioned, Wayne, they weren't just settling for a field goal, apparently. They wanted to strike for 6, and they got it.
It was a good drive. They took their time, and they didn't. You know, the great thing about Jaworski now, he's such a veteran, Dick, is that he really doesn't take any chances with the ball if he's got the time back there. He doesn't throw it where it doesn't belong, and you saw that on that drive.
Brett, Dick Vermeil, Jim Brown, scores and highlights coming up at the half, and we're 51 seconds away from that. So a tough spot for Wade Wilson, who's starting in place of Tommy Kramer and finds his team down 20-0. Wilson. And the pass is caught at the 40 by Mike Jones, who made a good catch with Elbert Fouls all over him.
Tough situation now for any quarterback and any offense. Defense knows got to throw.
Minnesota still has 2 timeouts left. Wilson's pass is short. He was going for his tight end, Steve Jordan. Stops the clock with 29 seconds remaining. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Hurried that throw just a little bit that time because the pocket was starting to collapse on him. They're right back on him about a yard or so away, and he really couldn't step forward and get on the throw what he needed.
Wade Wilson started 5 games last year, played in 8. He has been in 3 games this year coming into this one, but this is his first start of 1985. He is 6 of 13 for 44 yards. Ball is at the Vikings 41, 3rd and 3. Wilson. Anthony Carter was his man, but he wasn't even close. It'll be 4th down. And temperatures rise a bit amongst the linemen as Greg Coleman comes in to kick the ball. 25 seconds remaining. Evan Cooper will go back for the Eagles. They have a short man in safety position, Ray Ellis, as well, at the 35-yard line. The Eagles still have 1 timeout left. Who knows what kind of field position they may have. And maybe a chance for more damage. This is a good, fine kick by Coleman. Evan Cooper, inside the 20, is hit hard. At the 27-yard line, and a good play by Alan Wright.
We talked about Coleman in another situation right there where a pretty good kickoff, 40 yards and 8-yard return on that one.
16 seconds remain. And the Eagles have it at the 27-yard line. And 1 timeout left.
Vince Coleman's cousin. National League Rookie of the Year, Greg Coleman.
But if they had a race, who do you think would win?
I don't know. You know, Greg Coleman ran a 13.4 high hurdles. That was 5th best in the world back in 75.
Oh, I think Greg would beat him. 16 seconds to go. Ernest Jackson. Outside, and Ernest Jackson is knocked out of bounds. Stopping the clock with 8 seconds to go by Carl Lee. And a good game here.
Had him napping a little bit, I think, that time, expecting pass. See what happened over on the right side. Jackson will bounce it out here. See what happened to the linebacker, 56 Goldman. He was caught up and didn't get off the block, so he lost his containment. The Viking defense was surprised somewhat with that play selection.
And a 1st down for the Eagles at their own 47-yard line. Jackson already with 75 yards. Keep in mind, the Eagles led Atlanta 17-0 after 3 quarters here at Veterans Stadium a few weeks ago and had to struggle and win the game in overtime. 8 seconds remaining. Jaworski.
Downtown.
And it's caught by Mike Quick. Oh, it's intercepted. Intercepted by Willie Teal. It looked like Quick had made the reception.
Sure did. I think he took it away on the way down.
And now, tempers flare, and we have some problems over there at the Philadelphia side, which is not the side of the field you want to do all that. If you're a Viking. Willie Teal with an interception. I thought Quick had caught the ball.
Well, Quick has that great leaping ability. He gets up. He's the highest one and has it, but Teal takes it away from him on the way down.
Great interception by Teal, his 2nd interception, but that ends the first half. Marion Campbell's Eagles 20, the Minnesota Vikings 0.